Alright, so today we're going to be talking about totalitarian dictatorships in Soviet Russia, Fascist Italy, and Nazi Germany, and how the nature of these regimes and their ideologies contributed to World War II and the Holocaust. To understand how the total- totalitarianism, totalitarian dictatorships of Soviet Russia, Fascist Italy, and Nazi Germany contributed to World War II and the Holocaust, it is important to understand how people's racist, colonialist, and capitalistic views of the time paired with mass global economic failure and the failure of systems put in place to support its citizens of the countries after leaving World War One. Many countries were dealing with the task of taking care of and repairing their countries in the aftermath with all of the debt, damage, and deaths that came with it. During this time, many countries looked elsewhere to deal with the ramifications of the horrific war, and due to unequal treaties, it led to multiple countries who were struggling financially, socially, and were different in regards of race, sexuality, and by different, I mean they had different views, right? In regards of race, sexuality, gender, disability, religion, as well as many other groups who were affected under the rise of fascist dictators. With this was also the rise of communist thought, and that brought tension and sparked between the West and European countries and led to battles for power and control, which then morphed into multiple totalitarian dictatorships and the rise in hate crimes and mass deaths of many different minority groups in the Holocaust because of Nazi Germany under Hitler's regime. Under Fascist Italy, Mussolini imposed authoritarian rule and crushed challenging views in the forms of political and intellectual education. He, however, also joined the corporate capitalists and welcomed modernization in the hope of economic success. But it was not considered a free market under his regime. He also used his ties with the Vatican and the Catholic Church to gain favor and access to control, which is a common tool in fascism as a ruler to blend religion into their rhetoric to get people on their side, especially since he glorified the Roman Empire and wanted to create his own as he battled with those he deemed enemies. He would become enemies with the Allied forces and allied with Germany because they needed aid, and he would lose against them when they fought against Russia because his army was drained due to the horrific bombings of the cities, starvation, and they had grown demoralized and wanted to end the war anyway, denouncing Mussolini's alliance with Germany. Soviet Russia, Fascist Italy, and under Nazi Germany, they were all totalitarian dictatorship. Totalitarianism is a form of government where the political authority / leader of a nation prohibits and outlaws both individual and group opposition to the state. The state then exercises absolute control over all aspects of life, socially, politically, and financially. It is defined as the total organic organization of the people in the state, leaving an individual's identity and one's activities under the control of the group when a movement or the state when in power. Political dissent and free media were repressed, like in the U.S. right now. Yeah, or what they're attempting to do. It's important to note. In views based in colonialist and racist anti-Semitic ideologies had grown within both Nazi Germany and parts of the West, along with the issues of fascist Italy. It is also important to note that all three were results of widespread disillusionment that affected people's view on Western morals, democracy, capitalism, and Judeo-Christian values, which continued to fail minorities and allow the poor to continue to suffer while profiting at the expense of others. Fascism also exploits religion as a way of gaining power and influence in political spaces, and this can be seen in the horrific actions that resulted during World War II. Also, the U.S. ended up trading with both sides while actively allying itself against both the SU and as it feared more extreme left-leaning politics that questioned their whole government system, and they feared it would endanger their ability to maintain control over its citizens. They also traded with countries that had fallen to fascism but declared themselves enemies, along with Japan, when others got involved. Plus, with the increase of existentialism among people and philosophers that was caused by the moral relativism that was being sprouted depending on where you were at the time. It meant that people believed that whatever is good is based on whatever people around them agreed is moral and good, which obviously led to problems because people had differing views on all sorts of things, but it also led to people questioning the traditional Christian values and morals by saying that human life must be based on only rational facts and direct observation, empiricism, and not on other traditional values.